Yay Media Group.
Do you remember the Roxbury?
Oh God,
On
yes,
Sunset?
on Sunset.
Of course. I don't know why that just popped into my head. When we did 90s, and then I thought about across the street, Sunset Social Club.
Oh, I mean, that whole strip. It was like you.
Yeah, Viper Room.
Viper Room. I know it was never really cool enough for Viper Room.
Hey dude, I think the 90s are calling.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Hey Dude, the 90s Called. I am Christine Taylor, and with me, my partner in nostalgia, the one and only David Lasher.
That's me.
David.
Hi, Christine. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Or should I say, welcome back? I'm doing the DJ voice again.
Oh, we're back to the DJ.
Yes,
voice.
don't I sound like Howard Stern?
You don't sound like Howard Stern,
Okay.
but you can try.
Never mind.
Hey, so summer is underway.
Yes.
Yes. I
It's
never
so
know
nice.
when our episodes are going to air, but I think this will still be summertime when this episode airs because we've recorded a lot of episodes and we're rolling them out. But I know what I wanted to ask you. Did you know that it is, I mean, I'm sure you know, I'm sure you've read somewhere online that it is the 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
This is like a big deal that it's the 50th. So we rewatched it. A couple of nights ago.
Does it hold up?
Okay. Does it hold up is an understatement. It is so good. It is. And I even heard people say that even nowadays, because of, CGI and how great how great movies look, that the shark doesn't look as that good. Like that's kind of unrealistic. But I swear to God, I don't know if it's just like the 7-year-old me from the first time I saw the movie. It all still looks so good. The shark still looks real to me. The shark's still scary as ever.
Yeah.
I called the shark Jaws, even though that was not his name. The shark does not have the name Jaws, but I always call him Jaws.
You know what? The music, the score of that movie is like a character in itself. Like you just hear that. Like everyone knows what that is.
I highly recommend. I think they're going to be showing it. We were just at the Nantucket Film Festival, and because they
fun
shot Jaws, was it Cape Cod or Martha's Vineyard? Ben's going to yell at me. I think it was Martha's Vineyard.
It was Amity Island, I think, in
Amity,
the movie.
Of course, it was, but those that there was so much Jaws swag and they did there's a new documentary with never before seen, but we didn't get to see it. We weren't we had a different thing to do that night at the festival, but there is this new documentary that's out about the 50th with really cool footage. And so it just gave, we just got into, we kind of rewatch it every couple of years anyway, but we just rewatched it with our son. And it is, I'm telling you, I just treat yourself to it this summer. Like you guys have to watch it.
Perfect summer movie.
Oh, it's so, and Richard, I mean, they're all so good. Robert Shaw,
Roy Scheider,
Richard Dreyfuss.
Who played the mayor of Amity that refused to shut the beaches? Yes. Who is that? Hal Holbrook?
No, it's not Hal Holbrook. He kind of is a Hal Holbrook type, but his character name is Larry in the movie,
voice.
But I forget his name. But we were laughing so hard because like the whole thing is he doesn't want to close the beaches down and he wants people to come to the island.
The tourists, right.
The tourists. But we were laughing this time watching it because they don't close the beaches down and everyone comes. So all the tourism is there, but it's the scene where no one wants to go in the water because they've heard rumors that there might be a shark. And so he's going to all the people he knows on the beach and he's going, why aren't you swimming? Why aren't you swimming? And we were laughing so hard thinking like, why does he care? Like they're all on the island now. He's making his money.
He represents capitalism. Like we need the money.
Why aren't you swimming? Get in the water. Get in the water. So anyway, give Jaws a watch again. I'm highly recommending it. And we have a really great guest today.
Yes, I love her.
So kind to have us on her podcast a few weeks ago. And I don't normally do this because we usually just intro them, but this is such a good intro that I want to read it.
Give her a proper intro.
I want to give a proper intro. Today's guest has been behind the mic, in front of the camera, and in every group chat that matters, from fashion police burns to real life brilliance. She's equal parts Hollywood legacy and modern day legend. Author, host, mom, newlywed. She does it all. And probably in heels. I didn't write this, but I love it. Please welcome Melissa Rivers. You guys, when I moved to LA in 1991, my apartment with my roommate was on Harper Avenue in West Hollywood. It was just west of Crescent Heights, like a block, something like that. And we were between Sunset and Fountain, and my grandpa, God rest his soul, he drove my car from Pennsylvania to LA. Like, he loved road trips and he did it solo. He drove my car. And when he got there, he found, a place to park it before we got moved in. And I said, and he was like MIA. And this was before cell phones. And I was saying to my mom, I was like, where is grandpa? This is making me nervous. And she's he's so independent. There was a strip club right up the street on Harper, on the corner. You could also get a bite.
The Body Shop.
The Body Shop.
Not that I've been there. I just happen to have heard of it.
Well,
you passed by there a few times.
Do you know what? I don't even know if it still exists. I think it might. Remember Jumbo's Clown Room? I never went in there, but that's where they always said strippers with C-section scars.
Oh,
God.
That sounds like a different level.
Yeah.
But my grandpa was so unapologetic too. I just remember he was like, I went up to the Body Shop. I got a quick bite to eat. And I was like, you don't go there for the food.
No, he didn't. He didn't notice there were naked women everywhere.
I know. Of course he did. He was just pretending with us. But,
so you were right near Rock and Roll Ralph's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were so close to, and down the street was Gelson's. I mean, this is so 90s LA for any of our listeners who do live in LA or did live in LA.
And if you wanted to see stars like rockers and stuff like that at night, 2 a.m. rock and roll, the Ralphs that was known as Rock and Roll Ralphs. Everybody was in there.
Oh my God. Wait, but why you obviously grew up in LA, but why do I have it in my head that you were also a New Yorker? Or were you just tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. I was born in New York.
Yeah.
My parents moved when I was 3 for work.
Okay.
But I mean, our house, my parents always had such a New York sensibility. First of all, my dad was German and then went to South Africa and then was educated in England and then came to the US. My mother was obviously a New Yorker. Mm-hmm. So I think I was raised with that kind of a vibe. Everybody thinks or assumes I grew up in New York, but I actually grew up here. But I think it's a vibe. I think it's a sensibility. I think it's just a different way to present yourself. My parents were never cool and hippies. They were never that people.
Right. They were not the LA.
No.
The sort of LA couple.
And they both hated living in LA. And they had made a pact that whichever one dies first, the other one moves back to New York. And that's exactly what my mother did.
Wow.
What brought her to LA in the first place? Was it the Tonight Show?
Yep. Work.
Oh, God.
Work.
And the Tonight Show was the end all. I mean, people now really do not understand, and even I don't understand conceptually, none of us do, that literally you were overnight a star.
Yeah.
If you were on the Tonight Show. It was the only game in town.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't just on the Tonight Show. She was Johnny's girl. She was
not yet. She wasn't guest hosting yet.
Oh, okay.
But was a regular, but the whole industry picked up and moved west. Not just movies, but TV, everything moved west. So, LA is, my parents always say, is the world's biggest company town.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where we ended up. And then
Yeah.
I went back east for college. And then I was very much bi-coastal when my mom moved back, but I was already in college at that point.
Okay, so did we talk about on the podcast where you went to high school?
No.
Where you went to on
No.
your podcast? So what was your experience growing up as sort of, I mean, dare I say, a showbiz kid, right? In the heart of it. What was you talked to us a little bit about the trouble you got into, what the 90s meant to you then.
Yeah.
But what was your, like, did you love going to the set? Did you love being with your parents, or were you completely like, that's not my thing. I'm doing my own thing.
My parents were I always call it the separation of church and state. My parents ran what would be much more of a traditional household. There were, our kids, you're not allowed to have expectations anymore. So there were expectations. There were responsibilities. There were chores. There were manners. It was very separate. We all knew. My mother always called her career the career. It was never her career. It was the career. It was a family business.
Wow.
But when she walked in the door, it was Mrs. Rosenberg. And to the day she died, her phone at her apartment was answered Rosenberg residence.
Wow.
It was
Joan Rivers was a separate entity, basically. That's amazing.
So the way I was raised was my parents, first of all, they never fit in. They were never cool. They were never in with the cool kids. They were such square pegs trying to get into a round hole. So all of their very good friends came very much from like the English entertainment community, the older directors. It was very much, that was their group because there was a much more of a formality to it. And it wasn't, my mom said she did coke once and was like, could not stand it. She felt out of control and someone walked up to her and said, your nose is running. And she like freaked out and had to leave.
Oh
that was
God, I can't even imagine Joan Rivers more hyped up.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like, they were so not LA people.
Right.
So that's how I was raised. Conversely, of course I went to sets. Of course I went to work with my parents, but it was, we're going to the office. We're going to work. So it was very much, I always knew it was work and a job and it had nothing to do with who we were at home. Yet to this day, I can make a week's worth of meals on one pass of a craft service table. It has given me skills. I cannot I get wistful when I see the giant tub of red vines.
Right.
It's
nothing better than craft service.
Nothing better. And I've done that very much with my son. There is definitely a difference between real life and fake life. And that's very important. And I'm sure in your world, it's the same thing. Mommy and daddy go to work. And this is what mommy and daddy do for work. And you can come to set because that's quote unquote the office, but you go home and you still have to do your homework. You still have to write your thank you notes. You still have to do your chores. Yes, we had a housekeeper and a butler. I still had to clear the table. I still had to, it was
make your bed. Yes. Right.
Exactly. Those were still, but that I think was much more of the East Coast sensibility. In a lot of ways.
Yeah. But thank God you had that.
Well, yeah, it doesn't mean I didn't, but they were not going to let me be raised a showbiz kid, especially like in the 70s and the 80s. Like that was not going to happen.
Yeah, it's so interesting because, Ben's parents, they never made the move to LA. They stayed in New York. And Ben still talks about, to this day that because they did some pilots, they did a couple of series that would shoot in LA where they had recurring shows. But when I think they both had each done starring roles in pilots where they went to LA one pilot season. And Ben really talks about, had those shows gotten picked up or had been successful, he thinks that would have changed the entire trajectory. Like they would have had to have sort of relocated because shooting there for long periods of time. But they stayed very tried and true in the same apartment building. Ben's bar mitzvah was in the basement of the synagogue. It wasn't a big glitzy thing. It was, New York, sort of New York actors going about their business. And, And yeah, I feel like you guys probably have
Very.
so much in common there.
We do. And every time we've done something or seen there's a certain, also our parents knew each other.
Of course.
And it was a certain time in the village and a certain type of personality, especially with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a certain type of strength that these women had.
Yes.
You know, where
Absolutely.
they were such the grounding force, even though they were out there on stage being ridiculous. You came home, that was not, I'm sure it was still Mr. and Mrs. went for their friends when they came home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Joan Rivers was ridiculous. And I just like, I want
When
to
I say
talk
ridiculous, I mean character.
Okay, but like my impression of her is that she was so bold, so courageous, a fighter for not only comedians to push the envelope, but for women in comedy. I mean, my God, how many glass ceilings did she smash through? And she was also dangerous. I mean, you did not want that woman talking about you on stage, even all the way up to Fashion Police. I mean, we'll talk about that. But did you realize how bold your mother was in that other side of her life?
You can't realize it at the time.
That's right.
Because if you start to think about these things at the time, it doesn't make sense.
Right. It's
When
mom.
people go, when did you realize your mom was famous? I don't know. Like it was something that was so, again, because they made it very separate. We knew when we were going to work.
Right.
You know, that doesn't mean, now the thing that people don't know about my mom is in her real life, she had a very silly sense of humor, very sophomoric, practical jokes. Like that was the shit she loved.
Oh,
so
I
was
love that.
tortured through my whole existence. And then when she would do the Tonight Show and say something, and then I'd have to go to school the next day, I was like, the whole thing. But in real life, like any opportunity to absolutely horrify me in public, like in the funniest way possible, was just like both my
Fair
parents.
game. Fair game.
Game.
Yep.
Fair game. So and then I'll stop about this because this is my favorite one. There's a restaurant in New York called Sarah Beth's. There's a couple of them. This particular one was the one on Central Park South.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little sort of private area in the back that's not really private, but it's like a little alcove. And that's where my mom and Margie, and they always sat. So my mom gets there early, which was weird, with another friend of theirs, and was waiting for Margie and her husband to come. And in a really bad stage whisper, because Margie had blonde hair, kind of a bob, and glasses, and looked like Ruthie Madoff. So my mother goes in a stage whisper, don't stare or make a big deal. Like she's just talking to the host. But Mrs. Madoff is joining me.
Oh my God.
And
Poor Margie.
so Margie walks in the restaurant and the place goes silent. Like people shaking their fists, hissing.
Oh my God. That's a punk.
That's so
And Marty's like, what is going on?
Everyone hates me.
Like, why is everyone yelling, like freaking out at me?
Oh,
That's
But that's what I'm saying is,
brilliant.
there was no step too far.
right. Fearless.
Yeah.
I
Fearless.
love it. So
even
you
in personal life.
You must have a thick skin. I mean, not only just being able to take a joke, but like you must not get offended very easily. You can roll with it.
I don't get offended easily, but of course I'm like, if someone's mean, I'm super insecure. I'm super overly sensitive, but so was my mother.
Oh, really? So she
my
could dish
God.
it, but she didn't like to take it.
Well, no, on stage and in humor, yes, but in real life, her big fear was always disappointing people. So when she had really bad social anxiety, because if she went to a dinner party and was seated next to them, she felt like they're going to be really disappointed because they're going to meet Joan Rosenberg and not Joan Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
That's really interesting.
That's pressure.
That's right. And so she was still really funny, but they were expecting, can we talk? Who you're wearing, what it is. And that is not who she was in real life. So she always felt tremendous pressure to be funny.
to be on, right?
To be
to
on.
give them what they want. That's so much, right?
But in her real life and her social life, like that's not, her big fear was always like, we always said we have to sing for our supper. We know that. You both know that. There's times we have to sing for our supper and we have our 10 stories and we go home and they're exhausted by the end of the night because like, fuck, I just did it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Brady Bunch, I love the clothes. It's just, we all go onto autopilot. We've all had to do it. Mm-hmm. But when she was really socializing in New York and stuff, her big fear was, I'm going to disappoint people. I'm going to disappoint whoever at this big dinner party I've been sat next to.
Yeah, that's a constant pressure. But how did you decide that you would go into entertainment, and how did your mom feel about it?
My parents were supportive yet not encouraging.
Uh-huh.
Because it's a horrible business. We work in a horrible business.
Yes, believe me, I know.
It is endless rejection. Right. My parents always said, never forget, at the height of her career, it took Barbara Streisand 10 years to get Yentl made when she was the most powerful woman in Hollywood.
Right. People don't realize it. People don't know those stories. People don't realize that at all.
No matter how big you are, 99.9% of the time, you are not the person they offered the part to.
Yeah. You're always got backup plan.
Right.
Well, we offered it to Meryl and she passed. There's always, Julia didn't want to do it. Like, but even in those situations, it's such a mind fuck.
Yeah.
That's number one. So I was at college, it was freshman year, and I was sitting in my dorm and we had the TV on and someone was sitting there watching it with me and they were going through a magazine. And to this day, I cannot remember who it was. And I wish I could. They were looking at like a magazine. I don't remember if it was like People or Us, whatever it was. And they stopped at an actress or a picture of someone and said, oh my God, I love her. She is so nice. And all I could think to myself was, oh my God, this woman is such a horrible bitch. I cannot deal with this. Like, I know who she really is. And I realized
because you had the inside track. So you knew real stories, but your friend was looking at it saying like, oh, I love her. She's like the nicest, the coolest, right?
Oh my God. And I realized like I had a choice. Do I ever want to be able to watch TV, read a magazine, do whatever, and actually enjoy it and not do it? Or I'm just going to go into the family business. And that's exactly what happened, because I realized in that moment, I could never watch a TV show without bias ever again. Can you watch anything and not be like I'm the continuity crazy person,
right? Continuity, looking at the extras and the background artists and what's going on in this. Yes, 100%.
So it was like, think about it. We can't just consume. With books, I can't, but with TV and movies, talk shows, whatever it is, I can't. I watch them, I enjoy them, but I see everything.
All the you see everything going on behind, or what's going on in their head or in their ear or any of it.
We know how the sausage gets made.
Yes.
Right. It doesn't mind you don't like eating sausage, but we know how it gets made.
Right.
Sausage gets a bad rap. But that's interesting, because that became your lane, is kind of showing the public the behind the scenes, taking them backstage, right? That really became you and with your mom as well, showing people what it's like.
Yeah. But we always used to say we were the ultimate outsiders of the insiders.
So true.
We only got invited and this is at the height of the red carpet. Do you know we went to the Vanity Fair party twice? Only ever invited twice.
Stop.
I've never been inside the Emmys. I've never been inside the Oscars. I've been inside the Grammys, but only for the pre-tell. Like, I could not tell you what it's like to sit in those rooms. I've never been. So you had
all access outside of these
backstage,
venues,
everything,
all of the behind the scenes, but opening the door to the theater.
You're not welcome. You people are not welcome.
That is
literally
crazy.
The Vanity Fair party invited, and this is at the height of the red carpet, invited twice.
That's surprising, but that's you really kind of represent the audience, right? Like, you're one of us. Yeah.
But one would think we could have gotten at least invited couple times. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, everyone's like,
Allowed a little acts. Well, do you think it was fear-based? I mean, do you think it was sort of like, this is where the buck stops here because
we weren't cool. We weren't cool. We weren't cool. My parents weren't cool. The legacy continued of not cool. You know, maybe I'm a little bit cooler than my parents, you know?
Right.
But,
you broke the chain. But, you know, it's so crazy because now with these, obviously things are so different now because at the time you turned on one channel to watch your show before any of those awards. Now there's people who are live streaming, there's YouTube, there's all kinds of different people who have access and it's like so watered down there. To me, and now there's just, they do like the half-hour show before the show and that's it. And I miss it. I miss that. That is, you guys were such an institution.
I miss it too.
Yeah.
The problem is it's not fun.
Right.
Everybody's too careful. Everybody's too scared. Everybody suddenly it started back with Reese Witherspoon when she started with the Ask Me More.
Than what I'm just wearing. Right.
Right.
I'm more than just that. Right.
Which to me, big freaking eye roll because like 3 years later, she came out with her own clothing line. So, but by the way, that really did piss off a lot of the fashion press.
Oh, are you kidding? Of course.
But she's also a billionaire and sold her whole lifestyle company for literally, I think it was almost $1 billion. So she did something right and we all are doing this. So we did something wrong. Just gotta put the asterisk on that one. Gotta put the asterisk on that one.
But I do think you hit the nail on the head as far as where we are today, which we talk about this on this podcast. Obviously, this is a 90s podcast and things that would fly back then do not fly now. The fear factor, that everyone is precious. Everyone is careful. No one wants to get caught. No one wants to say the wrong thing, cancel culture, all of it. And I feel like I read something that you talked about with your mom where it was an article that you did and somebody asked how you feel like your mom would have fared today. And you said, you know what? I think she would have skirted it just fine. She would have said, you know what? I'm not allowed to say this joke.
She could have gotten away with it.
Right? Like she would have gotten like, a little bruised, but totally unscathed. And I think you're absolutely right. But there's so many other people who live in so much fear.
If I could, I would say this, but I can't.
Exactly. But I can't.
Can I just say, I watched some highlights of Fashion Police just for our listeners. Things that Joan Rivers said not even that long ago. On a red carpet, a famous actress was walking down. Your mom said her dress and hair are better than an IUD. She is like fashion birth control. And to another famous actress, she said, I didn't know you could make hair extensions out of pubic hair. And like, could you imagine if that was said today?
And look at, by the way, we're also like belly laughing right now too.
Oh my God. No one made us laugh more.
But the thing is, what people never understood, and especially like with her stand-up, and when people be like, oh my God, and they talk about you, for people to laugh, the public has to have such a strong and complete working knowledge of you that they get why it's funny.
Correct.
Yeah, true.
That makes absolute sense.
And in her act, all those things. And one time she heard that someone's, from her stand-up, that someone's child was upset. Out of the act the next day.
Oh, really?
Out of the act the next day.
Because it was a child?
Because it was the child.
Wow.
Because they're off limits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's as soon as she heard she had upset someone's kid from in her stand-up, it was out the next day.
Wow.
That's very cool.
But people never thought, you have to be so big. Think about how big you have to be for everyone to get the joke.
Exactly.
Yeah, everyone got Joan.
But the thing is, it was never mean. It was never a character assassination. It was a joke.
Right.
Did
you and your mom ever get into it about that? Like, did she ever say, I mean, it seems like that's a no just from what you've talked about, but even more than just like line crossing or did you guys have a working relationship where you felt like you could be 100% honest with each other, or you had a, as your mom and as, in her as the Joan Rivers persona on the red carpet, did you have a boundary with her? Did you guys have boundaries with each other there? Because it's a tricky dynamic.
We tried.
Working with your family. Yeah.
We tried. I knew where the line was. I wasn't going to try and tell her if something was funny or not. But like in Fashion Police, I had the final call because I was in the edit. So,
and she was not.
She was not. But I think the reason our relationship on TV worked because it was mother-daughter. So we could say things and do things that anyone else, it would look like they were being disrespectful. In general, did my mother have horrible boundaries with me? Yes. Mm-hmm. As my mother once, we had a huge argument. She knocked down, drag out, and she flew in late that night and got up, and I'm in the kitchen and she's eating out of the refrigerator, which she liked to do. And she says to me, because we had the fight on the phone, I've been thinking, excuse me, I've been thinking about our conversation. And you know what? You're right. Wait, I got to get it right. She said to me, she goes, I know you have boundaries. I just choose not to respect them.
Oh,
how very honest.
What are you going to say to that?
There's no response to that.
I know you have boundaries. I just choose not to respect them. Okay. Like there is no response.
It's like things only a mother can say.
Yes,
that is
exactly. But that's why it translated so well on camera, because everyone saw their relationship with their mother.
You know what? That's exactly right. There was something like we were getting it was you guys behind the scenes of these big productions, but we were getting a behind the scenes look of you two.
Right.
And what mother-daughter can't relate to that.
Yeah. I could eye roll and it's not rude. If just a regular co-host eye rolls, it's rude.
Yes.
I can say, Mom, you can't say that. You know what I mean? And people really loved, and on the red carpet, and especially like on Fashion Police, the different opinions.
Oh, for sure. To
but
see you guys get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
To say I totally disagree with that.
Yeah. Everyone's like, would you go back to the red carpet? I say absolutely not. Everyone's like, would you go back to the red carpet? I say absolutely not.
Oh, come on. You should.
It would never be the same. And it would be only opening myself up to failure and criticism.
Who, if you did, who would be your dream co-host or panel? Like, who would you want on there?
Oh, God. I would still have Kelly Osbourne. For sure.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
She's
she
terrific.
was great.
She just got engaged.
And just so much fun.
She's hilarious and just laughs and laughs and laughs and laughs and laughs.
Irreverent sense of humor also.
Yes.
Something about, and also saying it with that accent too is a little bit, it takes
they always sound smart. They always sound smart.
They just sound better that way.
And
right?
Kelly would say things, I had no idea what was coming out of her mouth. And our big joke, she always just say, well, I'm of two minds about this. And so I want to be like, I understand it, but I hate it. You know what I mean? It was like, I'm of two minds. I don't know. She's just on my mind right now because, like I said, she just got engaged. I don't know. I'd have to really think. I would love to have, if I was on a red carpet or in more of an improvisational, less scripted situation, Joel McHale.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He will push the boundary and not care. He is pretty dang fearless. Yeah,
and
for sure. He's so dry. I think 90% of it, though, would go right over people's heads. You know what I mean? Especially if he was interviewing someone I don't know if he's a good interviewer or not, but he would say things and you could see them trying to catch up.
Right.
If it was sarcastic.
What
do you know? What exactly? But I would love
to, on your podcast, I feel like from the, when we did your podcast, I've gone back and started listening. And what I love is you cover so much, but
Yeah.
and you also will still go back to the episodes where you just get into reality TV, the Kardashians, the Real Housewives. Like that's the yum of like, that's what I love. And do you feel like just being able to do that on a podcast, just feel like it's more fun, that you have more freedom in that, and being able to just comment on what's going on with them, their weight, their plastic surgery, their, like all of it. Because I find it so delicious to listen to as a reality TV fan,
I think I'm getting, I don't want to say less afraid because that just is a grammatical nightmare. I'm becoming less fearful of saying things just in the last year of not.
What changed?
Well, the dumpster fire that this year has been. So let's just start with that.
By the way, starting with the fire,
with the fire,
we're gonna be real about.
Yeah, I lost my house. I lost my house. Like,
so sorry.
Thank you.
Right.
But everything. But yet I still got married, which again, with our save the dates card said they were red, and in white print it just said hell freezes over, the date and the location and our initials.
I mean,
amazing.
But could it be more perfect for you? Like just with you and your sense of humor and everything you just told us about your family and it to be able to still do it, have a sense of humor about it, and know that everybody you love is going to be there. Is it's perfect.
But also, if we can't joke, and especially like about reality TV, I mean, come on, there is TV that I just call candy.
Yes.
And there are shows that are out there that are just candy. We're so in love with the series Stick. And I know one of the producers, I'm like, thank you. You give me dessert once a week. Like,
what is that? Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson, Mark Maron.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. Yes.
It's dessert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that there's not emotional moments, but it's, you don't make me work.
Right.
So hard. Like, okay, by the way, we tried to start watching the second season of Severance right after the fires. We're just coming back to it now because I'm like, I cannot, this is taking too much brain power.
Oh, no. Right.
Like, I do not
Post
have
fires. You need candy. Post fires. You need candy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have the bandwidth to watch this right now.
Totally understandable.
The whole first season was amazing. And I wouldn't just say that, like, loved it. Big fan. 2 thumbs up, a must see. What is it? What's this girl Ebert we always used to say? I laughed, I cried. 2 thumbs up, a must see. A must see.
Right. A must see.
I laughed, I cried.
If you call Stick dessert, what would you call like Love Island?
That one I can't watch.
I haven't started that. That's what.
Oh, you guys, both my daughters begged me to get Peacock so that they could watch Love Island. And now everybody's talking about this show and I don't understand it.
Wait, so I want to roll back to something on that.
Go back. Yes, roll back.
You were too cheap to just have Peacock from the beginning.
I canceled Peacock because I have Paramount Plus, I have Hulu, I have Amazon, I have Netflix.
So why not? Are you an NBC? Are you a Comcast hater? Are you an NBC Uni hater?
No, I wasn't loving the content on there, and I didn't think anyone in the family.
Traitors? You weren't loving the
Oh my God,
Traitors?
Traitors is the best. Traitors is the best.
We're gonna. Well, he has it now, so we can't
I
get
have
crap
it now.
anymore.
But what kind of cheap
canceled it and then
bastard
came
cancels
back.
Peacock? Seriously?
How many streamers can you get? It was one of those days where I was just like, all right, I have too many subscriptions. What can I cancel? And it was Peacock. Got the cut.
You felt powerful doing it. It gave you.
I did. It was $11
to stop one thing. And
by the way, but here's the thing: is
backlash.
your daughters are going to talk about this in therapy one day.
Yeah, my dad, we were so poor, I couldn't watch Love Island.
Yeah. We had to beg for Peacock. We said we'd walk to school so we could save the gas money to have Love Island.
See, David, this is what you get. This is what Melissa's going to give you the real.
I deserve it. I will never cancel. The thing is, there's no shame anymore. It's just fame. There's no shame in how you get it.
No. And that's, that's a bigger sociological issue, which would be a very serious podcast, which we could all sit here and over intellectualize and do. There is something very wrong with our society that people will do whatever it takes for that little piece of fame, and that consumption is idolized, and you worship these people that flaunt everything. And I mean, to me personally, and I don't know that if that's the East Coast sensibility in me and the Ivy League sensibility or just how I was raised, I find that distasteful in a lot of ways.
The Kardashian effect. I mean, my 15-year-old daughter, they worship Gucci and Prada and private planes and mansions. And, I don't know. It's sort of the opposite of how you grew up, or how you were talking about Jerry and Ann kept it very low key and down to earth and traditional.
But then I try and be really honest with myself in my moments of very rare depth. And I think
very rare depth.
I could fly very happily on a private plane, and I could be very happy having multiple Birkins, and and then I feel kind of guilty, and then I think, fuck it, no, I want that shit too. I just don't get to. I don't have it.
It's just not my life. But
it's not my.
I'd take it.
A nice Birkin never hurt a girl.
That's true.
For our listeners, that's a very expensive purse. It's a very expensive purse. I mean, it costs like maybe as much as some
Depends
cars.
which one.
Depends on a car.
There's ones that are like $100,000.
Yeah, it's kind of
for a pocketbook.
For a pocketbook.
Yes,
a purse, if you will.
By the way, you could have a purse. Men carry these now too. They're such a big status symbol.
Yeah, the Merces. Yes.
Yeah.
Men are. The only equivalent for men are watches, right? Like I have friends that are obsessed with how many Rollies, and
you watch the NBA players when they were going into the those NBA like the way they come in with half of them have actually women's purses that they're carrying. They're not even Merces.
But by the way, it's become, which like I always say with the red carpet, I'm not sure if we've done something wonderful or released the Kraken and going to hell for it, but it really now is fashion and I kind of love, I don't necessarily like what they pick, but I love that these men are using the opportunity to look nice.
Yeah.
And to have a look, because it's a lot better.
Or to be playful, or to be fun, or to make a statement, or whatever it is. Like, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Rather than schlepping in your shower shoes and your dirty team sweats.
I'm so like, you're right. I love hearing you frame it that way, because I do tend to be more, I sort of like the old school, the guys that come in kind of in their hoodie and they're like ready to play. Like, I like that. But I think you're right, because that's what they have to wear all the time. And then they're on the court and they're just wearing their uniform all the time. So why not take this one moment, if that's your jam, and it's not everybody's jam, right? It's
look at the difference between the Kelsey brothers.
Exactly.
One is super fashion. One is, please don't make me wear anything but flip-flops.
Yeah.
But I do love it, but it makes it their own red carpet.
Yeah.
Those moments.
It does.
And I do like that. And I also, back in the day when teams traveled, you had to travel in coat and tie. And then it got way the other direction, and now it's coming back. Oh, you used to have to travel. And remember, Tom Landers, they stood on the sidelines in coat and tie.
Yes.
The coaches.
Yeah, even the NBA coaches until COVID stood on the sidelines in coat and tie until COVID happened.
Teams used to they had a team travel uniform. And it was usually like khakis and a jacket, and it had the logo. Oh, yeah. And then it became, I don't want to wear this. And everybody would just schlep in. And if these guys want to have fun with it, they're working their asses off on the field, on the court, on the diamond. If that's what they want to do,
I know.
Enjoy it.
Have at it. Wait, okay. This is a great segue fashion wise, because we talked about it a little bit when we came onto your podcast. But what was, tell us what your 90s fashion was. What vibe you went for? Do you feel like you pulled it off? Do you feel like you nailed it? Tell us. Tell our listeners.
I loved some good grunge.
Okay.
Now, it may have been a cashmere sweater tied around my waist, a plaid, but I loved grunge. I also, to this day, still do a lot of black, but I was never goth. I think it's evolved into more of I don't like to look like I'm trying.
Right.
I always want to look like not trying. Good.
Yeah, David, didn't you say that was your vibe too? Like you would go to you would go to the vintage shops and spend $100 on the shirt with holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. American rag.
American rag.
To try and look like I'm not trying.
Right. But yet we were trying. But yeah, I was never like the Madonna girl with like all of it. Like that wasn't me. I was much more like I worshipped chrome hearts.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's like expensive grunge.
Expensive
or quality
grunge. But yet, I had so many, the whole thing was, jeans, some sort of a, motorcycle boot, maybe a cool shoe of some kind. And, the flannel tied around my waist, or at least something tied around my waist. And, either a cropped shirt or something like that. And then my dressy, I just found a picture. I had on a pleated mini skirt, black tights, heels, a blazer that was oversized, and the cuffs coming out of the blazer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was very Julia Roberts. Yes. That was very Julia Roberts. Or like
Alicia Silverstone in Clueless.
I was never that dressy.
Yeah, that was very polished.
Yeah.
Or Carrie Bradshaw, Sex and the City.
No.
I don't know. Who are your 90s like icon? When you think of 90s fashion, who do you guys think of?
Well, I do think of like Carrie Bradshaw and all that, but I never felt like I could pull that stuff off. I was much more
same. Yeah.
I think we were much more the only one to compare to was like the Julia Roberts cool. Like remember when she got married and she was in the white slip dress and barefoot?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or she would wear a men's jacket.
You're right.
Definitely. Yes, exactly.
The oversized.
Like the high-waisted jeans, the blazer, exactly. Exactly.
That was definitely that. But that morphed out of the absolute full-on grunge. But the thing with grunge was I was always clean and then put the crap in my hair because I really didn't want my hair to be dirty.
Right. You played the grunge role. You were not grunge.
But I was, I'm like a hygiene freak. So I was like,
have you, I mean, not to bring it down, but post fires and with everything, I mean, has the sort of starting over and, how are you feeling? I know it's just so it's heartbreaking to think of the things you had to leave behind. And because I've listened to your podcast, I know you've talked about it a lot on your own podcast, but
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I went directly into anger mode. So grief has been sneaking up on me. Mm-hmm. It catches you off guard with me. Like you'll go to reach for something and it's not there. And for some reason, it keeps happening every time I reach for a belt.
Oh.
Because I'm like, oh shit, I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. I don't have that. But what's interesting is I've learned I really do only need 3 brown belts, which is kind of fascinating.
Right.
I really can survive with 3 brown belts. I don't need.
Yes. Unlike the 20 that you had, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But I do need more belts. I was trying to buy belts yesterday and I was striking out all over the place, but that's not the point. That's on my mind. I've learned my least favorite word, and I'm going to use it, trigger. I can't stand hearing, oh, that triggers me. Like, no, it upsets you. It annoys you. It
makes me mad. Right.
Yeah. It's such like this new agey kind of word.
Do you get that from your son? Because I feel like that's a kid. I will hear that from my young adult children.
Yes.
That's a very triggering subject.
It's like, what in your life makes what's ever happened to you that you get triggered? You've had a great life.
Right. Gen Z gets triggered all the time.
Yes.
Gen X, we don't have triggers.
No.
As my brother's
bothers us.
We drank out of the hose and it was fine. Nobody died.
No filtered waters. No Brita. No.
Our jungle gyms were on concrete. You know what I mean?
That is so true. Come to think of it, like as we talk about the 90s, like you forget about those things. Like playgrounds had things that were dangerous that we were
would
just
scrape our
allowed to
knees
go on.
and nobody cared.
Yes.
No one ran over.
Do you remember you would do the swing and then at the very peak you'd leap off?
Fly. Exactly.
I mean,
They don't even have some of those things anymore in the playgrounds here in the city. That
do you remember
round
this
thing? Yes,
this-
that's gone. That's out because obviously too many kids crack their heads open flying off of it, which we all did too.
There's a softness to the younger generation.
Yes, I mean, we could talk about that a whole separate time. But what happens is I'm learning what triggers me, and I try not to do those things. I got in a really bad habit of looking to replace things like silver that was my great grandmother's and China, and ending up on like First Dibs or Christie's or Sotheby's or eBay or all these things, and I would spiral.
Oh.
And that's what would set me off. Now I have learned that I can do that. I just can't do it while I'm laying in bed because I end up like standing over the sink, brushing my teeth, sobbing hysterically. So I'm learning.
Yeah.
So I now consciously do not do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that. That's for me, that sneaks up on me.
Yeah.
It really, and the other thing that hits me is my son will never live at home, literally, ever again. It really was an ending in that sense where it's not like he'll still come back. It was still his room. This is like our new house. It has a guest room, but it does not have his room.
His room. Right.
That's a big one. Yeah.
That's where it catches up with me.
Yep.
But, you know, I have friends that are so stuck that I just can't be around anymore. Like for me, they're like, move forward.
Yeah.
I'm not saying your feelings aren't right or real or any of those things. I can't listen anymore because you have not even taken half a step forward.
Yeah, you're right. Forward motion, however quick or slow it is the only way through something.
Yes.
And you're right. Anybody, and we all have people in our lives who, not even about something as dramatic as that, who
about
get stuck
anything.
about something. And I will say that it's so challenging when you're with someone who does not want to do that. So then it's off your plate. If they want the help, then they can ask for the help. But when they don't want to move yet, there's nothing you can do.
And for someone to move. And for someone like me who's such an empath and, I'm there and I get it. And I give, I listen, I give. But there are people where I'm like, I can't listen anymore.
Yep.
I love you. But as soon as you start talking about this, I'm out of the room.
Yeah. Well, you're dealing with it too. So you need boundaries to protect your process,
Not according to my mother.
No one has to respect them.
You're not going to listen to them.
I know you have them, but I choose not to respect them. Well, I'm glad it was an active choice.
I love that we're ending on your mother. When you said trigger and then you just went like that, it reminded me of your mother when she'd say something and she'd like put her hand in her mouth like,
Yeah. Well, I'm really proud that you've come back around to Peacock. I'm just saying personally.
Traders.
We
Top of the list.
But I do want to say one thing before we let you go too. How when you travel and you're on a plane and you're like, you'll see someone you recognize on a flight and it feels, there's just something comforting to me because there's something so vulnerable about when you're, especially flying alone, and there's two people in my life that I saw on flights. And one was your mother, and it was a flight from New York to LA. And I remember it was probably around the time I was first, living in LA. It was 90s, definitely, because I was much younger. And I just remember, I didn't see that many famous people too. So, and she was like, I just was like, Joan Rivers is on the, oh my God, Joan Rivers is on the flight. Joan Rivers, and the other one was Julie Andrews. Those are my two coolest sightings on an airplane that I've ever
The Julie
had.
Andrews one is pretty cool.
And your mom,
both
it's not as
amazing.
cool to you because she's your mom, but for me, that was like really cool.
But someone once explained to me the difference between TV stars and movie stars.
Okay.
Movie stars, they're huge on the screen. You have to get dressed and you have to go out to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
TV stars, you choose to let into your home.
Right.
And they're small.
But Julie Andrews, you've only ever seen,
well, of course,
20 feet at that point, 20 feet tall.
Yeah. Yes.
Larger than life.
And singing.
Yeah.
But she wasn't singing on my
But I'm just
flight.
saying that's someone explained to me that was always the
I love
difference.
that. Yes.
It's true. But like you see Julie Andrews and there's Mary Poppins.
Or Maria.
Yes, or Maria.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was just, I just wanted her to be singing and I
Or Victor
really
Victoria.
tried to not geek out too.
Yeah.
But
Who does make you, wait, before I let you guys go, who has made you absolutely geek out?
I mean, for me, and it was just LeBron James. I had it's athletes for me. For some reason, I am literally like, I mean, I remember cursing him the whole game against the Knicks because he kills the Knicks every time they play against the Knicks. And then he kind of came over and like gave Ben a high five after. And the whole game, I'm saying to Ben, goddamn LeBron James. I'm so mad. I'm so angry at him. And he comes over and says something to Ben, gives him a high five, and I give him a double thumbs up. I went,
you're no
so
longer a Knicks fan. You're
awful.
a LeBron fan.
I just was so overwhelmed and starstruck by LeBron James.
Mine was Peyton Manning.
Wow.
Another athlete. That's so cool.
Both athletes.
Yeah, where I was like, oh my God, I have your version. I'm you when I play Madden with myself. Like literally, like it was like, so I embarrassed myself and it was a 2-day event. And then trying to fix the damage I'd done the day before, I did it again.
No.
Yes.
I love those. Where you're like shaking.
Oh, I love you.
David, what about you?
Most recently, I was in a room with Ringo Starr, and I just remember thinking, God, like he was involved in creating the greatest music of all time. Like, and he's just a regular guy, but there's something about him that is so much larger than the person in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, all you can come up with is hi. Like you
hi, double
like
thumbs up,
two
or
thumbs,
you
like,
just
Yeah, I had
I'm
nothing to
you
say.
on Madden. I mean, like,
I'm you on Madden. That's exactly the thing to say.
You are better than Tom Brady. Don't let anyone tell you you're not. I mean, I was just like, literally, they had like a friend came and was like, I'm so sorry. He like took me away.
Let's escort her out of here.
And then went back for round 2 the next day. Oh, God, it was embarrassing.
Those are good ones.
Well, you are so much fun to talk to.
Oh, you guys are great.
Genuinely have loved I love talking to you on your show too. And congratulations on the podcast. I love it.
Thank you.
I think it's so, you cover many different topics. It's called Group Text, right?
Yep.
And so please, to our listeners, check it out because you get, so many incredible interviews and lots of fun reality show time.
Yeah, and you're a great interviewer.
Well, thank you.
Your show is inspiring to me because you really do your research. And like I listened to the one with the director of the Judd doc series.
Have you seen that?
No, but I'm going to now. I heard it's intense.
Really intense and really disturbing.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, but your podcast is inspiring to me. I really love the work
You have
you're
a
doing.
very low bar, and I appreciate it, and we'll take it.
No, you're a great interviewer.
Yes, and you're just so easy to talk to. So
Yeah.
just keep up all the great stuff you're doing. We
Thank you.
Adore you, and I hope our paths cross.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
That was fantastic.
I mean, she is such a wealth of incredible stories, the sort of show business lineage, comedy lineage, really, I mean, and I just love how open she is about talking about, her mom and her parents and, and that relationship. And I just so easy to talk to. I also love that she's just constantly learning and growing and is very self-aware about where she's at this point in her life. Like I love when you said, would you ever consider going back on the red carpet? And she was like, no, because like for those reasons, because it would be a different world. She knows it would be compared. It would, but I think she gets to do so much great stuff on the podcast. It was so
she's
fun
great.
talking to her.
She's really smart. She's really brutally honest, just like her mom, which I think, makes her very funny, but also like so entertaining. Like she just tells it like it is, it's in her DNA.
Tells you how cheap you are for canceling.
Like she's right. She's right. It was $11 a month and I just had it. I had it.
Oh,
but
God,
I wanted to say, you had a great interview. You like some of the things you say really like lift up the interview, just asking her about the boundaries that she had with her mom, because her mom was an icon, powerful, but things that you said I really wanted to know. So,
that's so, well, no, David, we make a good team. That's why.
Yeah,
we bounce off of each other, but I do find it fascinating. Especially as I have kids coming up in show, but like working with your parents, it's not something I ever experienced. So I'm fascinated by that dynamic. I mean, I've worked with my husband, but I've never had to work with my mom. And I see how frustrated I can get with my mom just in like everyday life sometimes. So to have a camera on you and have those moments happening. But I love that she really talked about how those moments would happen and they would kind of let them happen in real time.
Mother-daughter stuff.
Yes.
But she did say, I never had the nerve to tell my mom something wasn't funny.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was off limits.
Exactly. All right. Well, that was super fun.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Next week, another great one. So you could follow us at Hey Dude, the 90s Called, watch us on YouTube, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And please feel free to share these episodes with anyone you think might want to go back to the 90s with us. And have a great week.
Bye.